marry me.
Testing.
You.
Yeah. Society's family unit is in crisis as less and less people are making the commitment of a lifelong partnership together. It has been normalized, encouraged, and easier than ever to just throw in the towel when the going gets tough. With time at a premium, start by spending 20 minutes per week gaining thought-provoking inspiration towards a journey of self-improvement, ultimately improving your marriage, your family, your health, and your home. Today, we will be doing something a little bit different. We will go unscripted or unprepared to discuss goals and how to get back on track. Have you set your goals? Have you made updates to your goals? How do you get back on track once you veer off course? We will touch on some of these questions today, and we'll be discussing some of our personal goal updates.
Towards the beginning of this year, we actually wrote down and expressed, I guess, to the community what our goals for 2021 were going to be when it came to marriage, family, health, and home.
Right.
So just to give a little review of what Ben and I had decided on with some of these goals that we set earlier this year. For my consulting business, so I'm a online marketing manager, and I have clients that I do different things for when it comes to online marketing. I wanted to be making the same amount of money that I did working my full-time 9-to-5 job, but in half the time, about 20 hours a week. So far, I'm on track. Clients are doing great. I'm doing great with my consulting business, and I am able to work half the time and bring home the same amount of income that I did at my previous job. So we are happy with that.
Yes, we are.
We also want to grow the viewership of our podcast and launch a blog with more resources and information. The first 4 months of the year are pretty much done, and I'd say we might have grown our viewership. If anything, we've kept it pretty steady, and we are still trying to launch our website and our blog. So that is still coming in 2021. We just have not found the time to make it happen.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Probably because of the next one.
Yeah, that's a big reason.
So this year we wanted to invest $10,000 in our house with different home equity projects and things like that, which was having our whole house painted and some wood rot repair and some carpentry things that needed to be done to it that we had budgeted $5,000 for. We actually came in a little bit under on that one. And then the other big project that we wanted to do for this year was our new air conditioning system. We knew at the end of last summer that it was probably on its last leg, and so we definitely needed to budget for that because they just band-aided it for us.
It was also 30 plus years old.
Yeah. We did that as well. So in the first 4 months, we have taken care of our house projects already. Right. So our AC was under budget. We had budgeted $5,000 as well, but we did have a little bit of a hiccup and ended up installing a whole home air scrubber system to get rid of some residual issues in our air ducts, and that was about $2,000. So I think on big house projects we're at $11,000. Now that does not include maintenance things that we do on a regular basis, such as lawn care. We consider that regular maintenance.
Or landscaping
things. So we've spent hundreds of dollars on that stuff. I think. Yeah.
The spring is usually full of those types of things. Getting updates for our garden with new vegetables we may want to grow or plants that we need to go buy.
We do what? 20 bags of mulch?
Yeah.
Each spring, 20 bags? 20 bags of mulch.
Lawn and seed and weed and
flowers,
feed stuff. Kind of your basic stuff, but the springtime's usually fairly busy.
As far as paying off our revolving debts, we're on track. Pretty awesome that we're continuing to do that. I think that we are going to have our revolving debts paid off by like September, pending anything else coming up.
Which it might. Probably will.
We also in 2021 wanted to continue to grow into a healthier lifestyle of physical activity, a balanced diet, and experiences with our kids. We are definitely working on experiences. Yep. So here in a few weeks, we are actually taking our kids on an 8-day RV trip to Mount Rushmore and Yellowstone. That is obviously a very pretty penny, but we are able to afford it, which is crazy. Other things that we've done this year already, last Thanksgiving, we went to Lake of the Ozarks for Thanksgiving. Then at the beginning of February, we took our kids to Great Wolf Lodge for a couple of days and overnight to experience that. And then a few weeks ago, we went to Branson.
Right.
And spent 4 days there. And our daughter was actually able to take her best friend with her as well, which was super cool. And just experience things, that we haven't before, and also plan for future trips too, because we didn't get to everything.
Yeah, we've got other excursions to do, little short trips or things we even do on the weekends that we didn't used to do.
We plan on going to Nashville this year. We plan on doing a big Texas trip to see several things as well. And like you said, we're doing a lot more on the weekends. We brunch like Johnson County brunch like none other. Yeah, New restaurants.
We do a lot outside. We've gone and seen a lot of the parks nearby. We've taken different routes to, walk or different things to experience and go see. Sometimes just for the sake of it, but also just because at some point you kind of run out of things to do here at home, and we really want the kids to get out, and this is for ourselves too, but we really want to get out and be able to go experience and do things that aren't that far away. I know one is also the Omaha Zoo that we want to go do. We also need to visit our zoo again at some point.
Kansas City. And lastly, for our goals for 2021, we wanted to develop our marriage of 13 plus years. We'll be married, 14 years in June, and push each other into the life that we dreamed of. Yeah.
And I wouldn't say there's not really an end state on that one or a hey, we've accomplished it, but
we met this goal.
Right. We've certainly had the ups and downs, as you'd expect, with just the seasons to life like we talked about, but also just, we do hope it progresses at a level that we do notice it over time. It doesn't have to be a completely linear increase every week. So,
and we've been off track with some goals, and that includes several factors like cold weather. We have what's called third winter here in Kansas City that we just got hit with last week, random snow. Unexpected issues that come up, like we said with the AC thing, a couple grand that we don't necessarily just have lying around. And then also Brayden is always the ticking time bomb with being 14 months old, and his schedule changed the last few months, and it can probably change again. So how do we get back on track? We need to make sure that we keep our goals 13 weeks out. So it's great to think about your year, okay, and what you want to accomplish and everything. But sometimes that makes you just kind of sit around and be like, oh, I still have 9 months left, or oh, I still have 6 months. Like, that's so much time. You need to make 13-week goals. And we talked about this in our goal setting podcast episode when it came to growth mindset and how to set SMART goals. 13 weeks is a quarter, so we definitely think in quarters. Other than that, you just want to have a vision or a general direction.
Right. If it's too far out, it could be too big. It could be daunting. You may have trouble deciding what path to take. If it's too short, it may not be a very big goal, a very good goal that is really going to move the needle.
Yeah, changes will come up, and we must be able to pivot and change our course. So longer than 13 weeks out is too far away, and too much can change. And as rigid as I am, that is too rigid.
You did touch on the 4 pillars with the personal goals that we had. When it comes to the marriage piece, we feel like we may need some new challenges to keep ourselves going. We've certainly set some goals for ourselves, such as trying to have weekly date nights, could even be a day date for that matter, or a movie night here and there, here at home or what have you. Not out at the theater. We're not big moviegoers, anyways. But little things like that, trying to make that happen as much as we can, even if it's something just as simple as going and looking at homes or shopping once in a while is good. But for the family piece, as we said earlier, we stayed at Great Wolf Lodge and Branson. Now we're planning Yellowstone and some of these other, little short trips, long weekends, things like that. But
this is why we homeschool.
Yeah, now we have the time.
Yeah, this is
we're able to schedule it.
Yeah, and our daughter said that in previous episodes as well, that experiencing things is the best form of education.
Yeah.
Not just for her, but for us too. We've never been to some of these places that we've taken our kids, which is really awesome.
There's a lot of places that weren't even on our radar, honestly, until we started looking around saying, I think I'd really like to go do that. Like, well, what's stopping us?
Why not?
So, but we just want to keep thinking ahead and what else do we want to do? And then as we get closer, okay, how are we going to do this? And just really work the plan. The health piece, for us, keto was something we were very into a couple of years ago. Obviously, once you were pregnant with Braden, that changed really quick. And ever since then, with COVID, whether it be that or even just, going through some of the seasons of life, like the winter we just went through, and everything else, we're not sure if we feel like we want to stick strictly to keto again. I don't know if it's necessarily boredom or we've gotten a little worn out on some of it.
I love cooking keto and stuff like that, but I think for us, especially with the experiences and stuff that we have, it's just when we're on trips or let's say the weekends when we're out and about and stuff, it's just really nice to not
have to worry about
limit
yourself.
So
there's so much good food out there that we want to try. I mean, we love barbecue. We we do like a few drinks. Also,
but during
just
the week,
trying new things.
Monday through Friday,
we need to try and be good. And I think the biggest thing is working on your portions and just trying to not be too bad if you're going to cheat a little bit. I'm not a big advocate of cheat days necessarily, but we just got to be realistic. Right now, I'd say we're maintaining. I don't think we've gotten worse. I think we're kind of, we're not sure what the next steps are. We may need to find a new challenge for ourselves.
Well, we do want to build. We want to make our garage our gym.
Right.
That's a big step
for us
because we don't have our gym membership because our gym is not providing the child watch and things that we need right now during this COVID time. And so, obviously, I don't have a vehicle, and so we want to put a new floor down in our garage, and we have a treadmill, we have an elliptical, we have weights, we need to get bigger weights for Ben. 5 pounds is good enough for me. And different things like that, especially to get our kids involved in working out and exercise. Now, of course, we walk again all the time, which is great. We're starting out with 1 walk a day again now that the winter is over. Hopefully we'll get up to 2 walks a day. I need to get a bike, and then we need to get a trailer for our son, and hopefully we'll do some more bike riding and things like that. So
we have neighbors that are avid bike riders, so I think they can help us with where to start.
Other stuff on the health front besides just food.
Yeah, besides just food and working out, like you want to be doing something active where you're also using a skill and you're outside and all of that. So I would say we're doing pretty good. We're sort of looking at the next steps right now. And the last pillar, home, we mentioned the projects that we just finished. Obviously the AC and the paint, we didn't do those, but they did require quite a bit of time and obviously money. So we don't exactly have the unlimited resources to just continue to do more big projects. And there's only so much we can DIY because like we said, we want to be out experiencing things, not slaving away on house projects when we could pay somebody to do it in half the time and do a more professional job. So what else is going on? We've talked about a lot of the changes that we've gone through this last year. If it's taught us anything, is that you can't anticipate everything, and life could certainly turn on a dime, and you've got to be able to anticipate some of those changes that come along and just adjust the best that you can. Give yourself some grace. It's okay. Some things will take longer than you want. You can't be too rigid. That's a big message we're trying to get across right now, and even to ourselves. So what's the future state for us? We don't know. Some of the changes could be once my work opens back up and we have to go back to an office, or possibly start traveling again. That could start really throwing a wrench in some of our plans. There could be changes in your workload. You could get new clients or get a bunch more hours.
I mean, I've been turning down clients.
Yeah.
But, it's really hard when that's kind of always like in front of you. It's always tempting you, and we constantly discuss it. And it's like, no, that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point. Because at this point, if I were to take on any more clients, our children would have to be looked for by someone else. Well, at least Brayden would be. Cadence would still be fine being here and being homeschooled. But I would probably have to send Brayden away for like at least 1, maybe 2 days a week.
Yep.
And that's not the point. That wasn't the point of all this. The point of it was that my kids are in my house and I'm raising them.
Yep. Exactly. Not someone else.
Yeah. So that's why I haven't taken on any more clients, because we are content where we are. We have what we need and most of what we want.
Yeah. And I would say that we may have more house projects that come up. We may need to replace something or have to spend time or money replacing something. But we know we'll have schedule changes during the summer. There'll be changes with schoolwork. There'll be changes with Brayden's schedule and with our babysitter, and just the different things that we have coming up. We know we'll probably shift around. We're not sure. We did talk about KJ possibly going off, to a camp or something. I mean, we don't know. We're not 100% sure, but
there's
that's
a lot
okay.
of great learning opportunities during the summer too that are not public education.
Right.
So it's really great to be able to send her to some of those things.
But a good reminder for ourselves and for others out there is, just because you have these ideas and you want to do these things don't mean that they have to happen. Sometimes they're just good ideas and that's it. And maybe you get to it next year. It's okay. So just keep that in mind. And this was just a quick update on where we're at with our goals and where we're heading. I think it's definitely looking very different than it did last year. And who knows what it'll all look like next year.
For this week's call to order, if you don't have goals yet, get on it. It is May. Go buy a physical planner or even a digital one and put some goals together. Start small and build up from there. If you have goals, plan out the next 3 months and each week within those months. Making goals can be easy, but you must execute as well. Plan it out and start tracking. If you don't track your progress, how will you know if you're going to achieve your goal? Get started as soon as you can, because remember, little by little, we can travel far. You don't want to reach 2022 and regret not starting sooner. If you're ready for your marriage and family dynamic to thrive and not just survive, all it takes is 20 minutes or less joining us each week. It begins with a journey of self-improvement while you sit in the carpool lane, commute to work, squeeze in a workout, or get halfway through folding that laundry pile. Be sure to check out the blog at thefamilyorder.com and follow us on Facebook at The Family Order. If you're ready to start your journey, be sure to click subscribe so you don't miss new episodes every Monday.